to say that after reading this question, it was really confusing how to do this. So I had to set up a table using Excel to help me figure out what all this meant. I've named the columns this way. I know that there's going to be a decrease in parties, and then there's also the number of parties and the cost per party. So I can also figure out from the initial information that there's no decrease in parties, and the number of parties would be 20, and the cost would be 260. Then we can calculate the revenue by multiplying it out. Dimples will have one fewer party, or 19 parties, if he charges $80 more than his initial $260. The revenue now then is calculated by multiplying the cost per party times the number of parties. Now I'm going to get Excel to fill down the numbers for me from 20 and 19 down to whatever I need. Now I'm going to copy the formula for the cost of the party and the revenue all the way down until I can see a trend. I scan the revenue column and it looks like the maximum revenue is $10,800 when he charges $900 for a party. I get a little bit suspicious when I see this $900 for a party and the number above is $820 and the number below is $980, and I wonder, is that really the maximum? So I'm going to try a few numbers in between and adjust my columns and formulas to see if I can get a different maximum. You can see here that we have two revenue numbers that show 10,810, and it looks like the axis of symmetry should be somewhere in between, and the maximum revenue would be not at $920 or $940, but at $930. We should check this using algebra. I start out like I did with Excel, using a table, and then I'm going to see if I can find a pattern. Once I find the pattern, I'm going to just speed up the video for you and here is the equation for the revenue y. X is the decrease in the number of parties. This is in factored form, and now I can solve for the two x-intercepts. The x-intercepts in this case would be when you would have zero revenue. We're going to find those two numbers, and then we're going to find the average to find the axis of symmetry. Then we'll calculate the vertex using the axis of symmetry value. Hopefully this will give us the true maximum revenue. The two x-intercepts are negative 3.25 and x equals 20. Halfway in between is going to be 8.375. Here are the calculations to find the maximum revenue based on our algebraic solution. The maximum revenue is $10,811.25. The maximum revenue then is $10,811.25 when he charges per party $930. This is a little bit different than what the textbook says. The textbook assumes that Dimples can only lose whole parties, but in actual fact we're looking at whether Dimples can charge $900 or $930. It makes sense that he could charge $930 and still lose partial parties. In some months he would lose more than 8, and others he would lose less than 8. This is how you should analyze the question. Dimples then should charge $930 for each party.